Good evening, everyone. Superfan Dan from California. Good to see all of you. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Through Black and White Eyes, our preview of tomorrow night's match against Tottenham Hotspur at St. James's Park. Can we keep the run going? It could be three on the bounce in the league. That would be fantastic for us. We've got a great panel tonight. We've got Scott, we've got Sparky, we've got Harry Scarf down there from the smoke, talking about Spurs. We have two award-winning panelists tonight, so this is going to be an exciting show. Please like, share, subscribe, and hype after the show is over on YouTube to promote the channel. It's all free. You can join the channel for as little as 99p a month and use the super chat function to donate. We have donated over 11,000 pounds since we started the channel to charity, so that's good stuff. We've got a couple of other charity events coming up in 2026. The main one being the talk-in at Newcastle Benfield Football Club on the 27th of February. More details to come as we get them put together. But that'll be a great evening. It'll be me and Baz and some select guests. So it'll be good stuff. Please adhere to standard community guidelines. Keep our comments respectful, please. And of course, enjoy the show. With that, I'm going to bring on Scott. Hey, Scott, good to see you, sir.
Evening.
Scott and I just figured out that we have the same surname.
We have, yeah. That's weird, that, isn't
it? Now, my Devlins come from County Sligo in Ireland. So, but we emigrated to Ayrshire in Scotland, and then went to the States. So it's possible that we could just go check out our genealogy, mate. We'll see.
We'll do it one day, mate. We'll do it.
You may have to grow out something.
I'd love to have a beard like you one day.
All right, let's bring on Sparky. Sparky!
Yes, evening, fellas. How we looking?
The multi-award-winning Sparky buddy.
Have you at your service, Superfan Dan, at your service?
Have you heard anything from Fiona tonight? She's down at the Stack attending the talk-in.
Yeah, so obviously there's we are united down at St. James's Stack there this evening. Obviously it's a club and fans meeting. It was like obviously invite only. I think only about 200 to 300 have actually been selected to go out of all them that actually expressed an interest. So interesting things. Obviously no cameras or no phones allowed in the venue at all. So that feedback that Fiona and the Jawline experience was featured on the videos at the Stack there with Newcastle United. So really, really buzzing to hear from her later on this evening. So happy days.
Yeah. That's exciting stuff. The panel is obviously Ross Wilson, the director of football, and David Hopkinson, the new CEO.
Hopkinson, Rebecca Langley's there. There's a few
not Becky Langley, not anymore.
Sorry, not Becky Langley.
Tanya Oxby.
Yes, and I'm going to be getting my arse tanned for making that little mistake there. So,
lots of changes recently. It's all good.
It's a lot of change and it's a lot of positives as well.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Okay, we'll bring on our last finalist, another award-winning content creator. We'll bring on Harry. Hi, Harry.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Really looking forward to getting into it. Big game, and my club need a response, but probably won't get it.
Evening, Harry. How you doing?
Hi, evening. You're right.
Harry, I introduced you as an award-winning media content creator. Tell us a little bit about the award that you just won.
Oh, thank you very much, firstly. That's very kind of you. Yeah, so I won Best Young Content Creator, got gold in that category, which I didn't expect.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Harry, we lost you. We'll see if we can get him back.
To the toilet in time, I tell you.
Oh, he's back.
No. We'll get him back. Don't worry. We'll get him. Yeah, you keep going in and out, Harry.
reconnect. I'll see you in a second. Reconnect.
Yep. All right, we'll bring him back. So while Harry's reconnecting, let's go back and we'll talk about this just for a minute because Baz took him out. Okay, very good. Is this? Yeah. Okay, we could talk about that one. Okay, super. Has anybody seen Newcastle's? Oh, here's Harry.
Hello, any better?
Back, Harry. We can hear you. We can't see you.
Can't see me.
Nope.
Now?
Now we can see your icon. It's all right. It's good.
Right, I have no idea what's
from
happening.
you.
If you can hear me for now, and I'll sort that out. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Just wanted to
No
say thank
problem. Go ahead, Harry. Oh no. Poor Harry.
Oh,
Is he back?
Oh,
No.
No,
We just did. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see if we get him back, and we'll go on. No, exciting match this last weekend against crap. Where were we? They're all running together now. We had Man City at home last weekend, and that was fantastic. And then this last weekend we went to Hill Dickinson on the blue side of the Mersey, over there in Liverpool to face Everton at their fancy new stadium. Yeah, great stuff. Fantastic game. Scott and I were on last night with Elton Welsby from Everton, and he didn't really want to go through the match minute by minute.
No,
Each time I mentioned the goal, he said, "Okay, move on."
Yeah.
But I think it's important to note. Again, I made a deal about it last night. Sparky, just to have Phil Foden set the record for fastest goal scored in the league earlier in the day, and then Malick Thiaw steps up gets his debut goal. I mean, not debut goal, his first goal for the club away from home, 7 seconds faster than Phil Foden. I mean, that's a pretty big deal for the young man.
Oh, definitely. And you know what it is? It just goes what we live by. Jody boy take the piss, There's Phil Foden, like, I've got the fastest goal of the Premier League, and then out there, hold me here. Malick Thiaw comes up and do you know what it is? I've actually renamed him Malick Wow. I
like that.
Because the guy, like, for me, he's just been the summer, like, out the whole of the business done in the whole planet over the summer. Malick Thiaw has got to be up there for 35 million quid, like.
I agree, 100%. Bargain of the season, no doubt, across any of the leagues, across Europe. What do you think, Scott?
I mean, he's been outstanding, hasn't he? Stand out, rock at the back, and then he pops up with two fantastic headers. Just bellissimo. Absolutely.
What is it about right-sided center backs for us? We have Fabian Schär, we have Malick Thiaw, and they just keep finding the back of the net. Fantastic stuff.
I mean, I'm just thinking about like the match before against Manchester City as well. I mean, you had Erling Haaland in his pocket, like I've never seen a defender like own Haaland like Malick Thiaw did. Like, I'm telling you, it was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Oh, is that how Haaland got into our locker room? Malick took him out of his pocket when he went back to the dressing room. The only time you'll ever see the inside of our locker room. We'll see if we get Harry back. The big news today was we got word that we had a quick poll on Twitter last night that what the feelings are like about the match coming up tomorrow night under the lights at St. James's Park, and I think it's fair to say I think we're expecting a win for Newcastle, but again, on any given Tuesday, we will see what happens. But they are missing quite a few players to injure. Spurs us. No, what was that? I was just thinking about something. It'll come to me. I wanted to see. No, this is us. This is who we're missing through injury for the game tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're missing Harrison Ashby. We got news earlier today that Sven Botman has a back complaint, and we'll see if that can be resolved soon. Whether or not he can play with an injection, or whether or not he's going to have some kind of other treatment. Will Asula still working on with his ankle injury. Kieran Trippier, we heard before the match on Saturday that he had injured his hamstring, and now it appears that he'll be out for a number of weeks. We might not see Trippier again until the new year. And then Emil Kraft, that was a surprise. I didn't know that he was injured. So we're missing some heavy hitters in terms of depth on our bench. Losing both of our right back backups to Tino Livramento now that he's back in pocket. That's a concern. Obviously going into the match with only Nick Voltemata as our only recognized striker, young Sean Neve, I expect we'll probably see on the bench. Hopefully maybe he'll get some minutes depending on how the game goes. Sven Botman, of course, has been an injury concern for the last couple of seasons now. Both of his knees and now this back complaint. And Harrison Ashby, young man that we got from West Ham 2 seasons ago. I think it was the summer of 22, I think. For like $2.5 million, and we have yet to see him. I saw him play against Espanyol in the friendly on Friday night back in August, and he was playing in central midfield, and he was surprisingly energetic. I mean, he looked good, but that young man, he's like 22, 23 years of age and can't seem to stay fit. Is anybody expected to see Harrison Ashby ever make a first team appearance in the black and white kit? Or do you think he'll be one that, was a coulda, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and might find himself playing in the championship or somewhere else?
I'd like to see him start.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him start a couple.
Yeah.
See if we can break him in. I don't know. I think you could be right though, Dan. I think he might be in one that we move on to a championship club at some point.
Yeah, I just don't think he's going to be sticking around. Just who voted for Spurs? Let's see. We'll see if Harry comes back. I don't see anything in the chat for him either, so he might be having internet problems. So that's all right. Let's see. I'm
sure their internet's still down from Sunday. Do you know?
Was there a problem in London with the internet?
No, it was just Spurs got beat. That's all.
Fair enough.
They didn't play the best over the weekend.
No, but see, and if you look here, they're missing some big names as well. Romero, Basuma, Kulusevski. I mean, those are all big hitters for them. Go into the next one. James Maddison, of course, long-term injury, and Solanke, also a long-term injury. They're missing some big players. Thomas Frank has got quite the injury crisis on his hands down there. So we'll have to see what squad he brings to St. James's Park. But knowing all of those players are out, and we're just coming in on a high. I can't see us. I can't see us giving up too much to them. The big question I have for Spurs, of course, is they had their own little Nick Pope issue with Vicario on Saturday, did they not?
Yeah.
Holy moly. What was he thinking for that second goal? Holy crap.
It was crazy, wasn't it? It was just what? It was just, I don't know what goes through goalkeepers' heads for them to rush out like that. When, it's like, do I stay or do I go now? Should I stay or should I go? but it must just be like a rush of blood to the head that makes him just.
It was something else. I was surprised to see him out that far, and then for him to commit. And by the time he circled back and started heading back to his goal, it was already too late. It was, and we were watching at the pub, and one of our really good friends is a Spurs fan, and she just kept shaking her head. There was nothing she could do. She was just sitting there going, what do you say to that? Just, oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
It's a bit mad to slag off your family. We're talking about Thomas. There was a quote here of Frank had a little bit of a go at his fans because the Spurs fans were booing their own team as they were exiting the match the other night, and Thomas Frank said that they're not real fans if that's what they're doing. So I have a feeling, there's a bit of confidence issues in that dressing room right now. So it might be the best time for us to play them, and we've already played them once in the Carabao Cup and did a job there. And we saw Aaron Ramsdale do a great job in that game, and he had a fantastic game the other night. I truly don't think there was anything he could have done about the Dewsbury Hall goal. That was a great goal that he took. I did see a comment online saying that if Nick Pope was a goal, he would have saved it. Maybe because he's got longer arms, but I thought that was a great goal by Dewsbury Hall. So, but I think going into this match against Spurs, we're going to be in good shape. What thoughts, Scott? Your thoughts on Aaron Ramsdale the other night?
I think he did a decent job. I think we've got to remember he's not going to be match sharp. It's going to take a few weeks to get that Premier League sharpness. Yes, he probably plays 11 asides behind closed doors and things, but he won't be match sharp yet. Give him time. I think he'll come good, definitely.
Yeah, I do. I think we've seen a lot of there's been a lot of reshares and everything of a pass that he made straight out of the 18. He saw an outlet there and he just booted it forward to Livramento. Livramento then got it up to, was it Bruno? And then Bruno got it out to Elanga. Elanga then took it upfield and passed it into Jacob Ramsey's path, but Ramsey took an extra touch, I think, that got away from him. But we could see what having a keeper that can drill the ball out from the back, what that distribution could do.
Yeah, the game though, I mean, I don't know what Sparky thinks or you, Dan, but I don't think Ramsey's match sharpness yet either. He hasn't got that. We haven't seen enough of him to say he's Premier League sharp as well. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to give these people on the fringes time. I know they cost money, but you've got to give them a bit of time as well.
Well, and we've got. You're absolutely Sparky. Did you think Jacob Ramsey did well the other night, or do you think he's missing a little bit of sharpness there?
For me, to be totally honest, when he was at Villa, like all I've heard is really high things about him. However, he was quite injury prone at Villa as well. I just hope we're having bought an upgraded Joe Willock. I hate to say it, but I just hope we're having. However, saying that on the flip side, when I have seen Jacob Ramsey when he's been in the Champions League, I think it was the first or second game in. I think it might have been the 4-0 away, actually, or the 4-1, or was it? I think he had an absolutely amazing game in the Champions League. He just hasn't been able to keep up the consistency, and obviously he's been injured again, and then he's just starting to come back. He needs that. He needs a consistency in his. Obviously, in his fitness, so then he can implement that on the pitch. But I think he'll come good.
I agree. No, I agree with both of you. Having the injury problems that he had when he first came to the club, then getting in the side, and then having another reoccurrence of an injury. It kind of, as the word you used was consistency. Just trying to get. Maximum minutes when you get those opportunities. Yeah. It's kind of hard to grease the wheels when the wheels are stuck. So, yeah. So So no, the big news going into Saturday, what just came out of the press conference this morning was it sounds like Johan Vissa is looking sharp in behind closed doors 11v11, and he has also not been selected for the Congo side going to the African Cup of Nations. Apparently, I mean, I think he's made it known that he was concentrating on his club football, and he wanted to repay the faith that's been paid him, not only for the large fee that we paid for him to bring him from Brentford, but also, the time and money that they've put into getting him fit after he was injured playing for international duty. So, fair play to him. Arguably, he was their best player over the summer when he was playing for Congo. He scored 2 goals in one game and helped them get into the qualification playoffs of the World Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So to have him fully committed to the club, to Newcastle, to play coming up through the heavy holiday season, I think is an important step for us. And arguably it could be one of those visions of our best starting 11. I've been saying for all season that we haven't seen our best 11 yet. We've been lost with Tino and Hall. We've had them out. We've had Bruno out. We've had Joe Linton out. We've had Gordon out. We've had obviously Vissa out. I'm wondering what our best 11 still looks like. And I think with all of these players coming back fit, I think we might. Eddie Howe might have, for the first time this season, he might have a full complement of first teamers to choose from, and we'll have to see how he tweaks the starting 11 there, just to see what's going on. Let's see, trips. All right. It was good. I got lots of media assets to select. I've got some stats and stuff, but I haven't had time to read all of them yet. So, having won just 2 of their 11 Premier League home games against Spurs between 2011 and 2022, Newcastle have now won their last 3 against them by an aggregate score of 12-2. That sounds good for us. I think everybody will remember the 6-1 game where we scored 5 goals in the first 21 minutes.
Beautiful game.
I still bring that up just to, when I'm feeling down, I bring that up just to make myself feel good.
That's a good one, Dan.
Well, I mean, yes, we know that he who shall not be named got 2 goals in that match, but as did Jacob Murphy, and Jacob Murphy's hits. I think we all remember the 3rd goal and that big ass smile. Good stuff there. All right. I was hoping Harry would come back. I wanted to hear more about his award. I've seen lots of pictures of him on social media accepting the award. I just wanted to hear more about it and get his thoughts as to what maybe some of the mindset is in the Spurs dressing room. But I haven't seen him come back, and he's not in the comments. So we'll continue to move on without him. What else can we talk about? I think going into the match, I think Ramsdale picks himself for in goal. I think Tino and Hall both had great games the other night against Everton. I suspect that they will remain in their starting places. Dan Burn was magnificent, as we expected, having moved back into his left center back role alongside the effervescent Malick Wow. Exactly right. Chef's kiss.
Honestly, man, he's just beautiful. He's just, I'm running out of words for him, I'm running out of words for Malick Thiaw. Like, Malick, wow. Yeah.
I'm sitting there thinking about that. Yeah, how do we get that chant? How do we alter the chant? Malick Chow, Malick wow. I don't know. I think it could take off. Everybody on Tyneside knows that chant now, and he loves it. He absolutely loves hearing it. It's the first time he's ever had a chance. So he's very excited. I would expect the defense to stay pretty much the way we saw it on Saturday. The big question comes in midfield. Will we see? I don't think Joe Willock did poorly when he came on the other night. I thought he did very well. He kind of put himself in contention. I think the one that surprised us the most was Big J7. He wasn't his regular bull in a china shop. He was strong, but he was relatively calm. He controlled his space. Would you say that, Scott?
He did. I mean, we mentioned it the other night. He was pinging the ball around. He was winning the ball, but he wasn't winning it stupidly. He wasn't giving away stupid free kicks. It was just a different Joe Linton. So I don't know whether Eddie or somebody's took him to the side and gone, look, play some football. Stop being a bull in a china shop. It's not working for you. And he did. He put in a right good shift and shut me up because I did want him out the team for a little while.
Maybe he was wearing regular size shin pads.
Hopefully.
I don't know. We'll see. I see Harry has joined us. I see him moving in the background. Let's see if we can bring him back in again. All sorted, Harry?
I'm so sorry. There's a power cut. Honestly, I'm awful. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so sorry to
No apologies necessary. Great to see you. Sparky was just thinking maybe after last Saturday the internet was just down in London and that was just the way it worked. So
it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it would surprise you.
Thanks for trying so hard to come back. We're really good. We're really happy to have you on. Again, before the issues that we saw earlier, tell us about the award that you won. You were the gold medal winner for Young Media Content Creator. At which award show was this?
Firstly, thank you so much again for having me. So, yeah, it was the Football Content Awards 2025 held at Ellen Road, Leeds. I mean, I went there third year in a row thinking, just great to be here. Anything else is a bonus, and to come away with gold place is just incredible. And some people go, okay, yeah, what's the significance of the Football Content Awards? There are big names there, just going to give you a couple here, or three actually. Martin Tyler, Cal the Dragon, Mark Goldbridge, these are all names that a lot of us would have heard of, not necessarily in my category, but here and representing some kind of category or there in the evening. So it's a big thing, and it's one of the biggest in the football media industry. So to win a gold award is just incredible, and it's not necessarily on me at all. It's a big credit to those that voted me, that nominated for me, but all support my content in 2025. And I love coming on shows like this when Mintet doesn't pack it in like an absolute tosser coming in, half an hour late. But thank you so much, and it's great to be here. And looking forward to talking Tottenham, which are absolute shambles at the moment. But Newcastle top side, and I am still looking forward to the game.
So we've had our say kind of in the background, Harry, while we were waiting for you to come back. I think the big talk for us was, your goalkeeper Vicario had a bit of a Nick Pope moment, didn't he, the other night?
He had a Nick Point 2.0. Should we just stick to that? I mean, oh my God, what's that about? But no, listen, when you get mistakes in football that are bad, you go, that's awful, but I know what he's trying to do. When like a defender slices it in their own net because they're trying to stop someone behind him, scoring. It looks awful, and you think, oh my God, that's one for the kind of highlight reels. But you know what they're trying to do. The purpose is to stop the striker behind scoring. They panic, they get it wrong, etc., etc. What is Vicario doing? He comes out, does okay. Pass the ball, put it out. There's a load of things you can do. He looks behind him, the Fulham player, like, come on, try and tackle me. And he nearly does. Half a second longer on the ball, and he falls on his bum, and, it's even worse than it was. He gets that wrong, and it's a really poor pass. But not only that, and after that, there's about a second or two after, he just stands still. He's not going to get back anywhere. That's not the point. But he's just like, what are you doing? That's really poor. And don't get me wrong, what Nick Pope done as well, catastrophic, never getting there. But at least you can understand, as he got totally wrong, don't get me wrong, but he's going for the ball. Really, really poor. Misjudgment. It's awful. What a way to start a half in such a negative way as well, and just complete collapse. That derailed you, in my opinion. You deserve to win that game, much the better team. So if you're Newcastle, say, what a shame that is. I can say that as an outsider, but what is Vicario? I can't even understand it. A lot of mistakes in football, I understand. I cannot understand. Put the ball out, hoof it, do whatever you like. But he's I don't know. No, even Spurs playing there, he panics and nearly got tackled. Honestly, sums us up right now. And the boos after the stadium, in the ground, and even after the game was just horrific. I don't support Vicario being booed as much as I was inside the stadium. Going 2-0 down inside 9 minutes, a catastrophic error, and after our last few weeks, it's not good. And I just don't think Vicario's touch after was booed, and it wasn't booed by 5, 10, 15 people. It was booed by a large section of that fan base, and that I do find horrific. I will say that I don't like that until one of your own players. You talk about you being Newcastle. Of course, a lot of it is there's just one team in your city, but you're United. That's what Frank's trying to achieve with Tottenham. I think he needs time to do that. Bring people together, because there's a massive disconnect. I hate to say it, not with me, but with others, with the fans and the players. They're just completely out of touch with each other, and both are responsible, by the way. I will call out the fans. There's a level of entitlement that he's addressing. Frank's trying to address this, and I think he needs the time. But Vicario, talk about it all night. Horrific. That's how I'd sum it up.
Yeah, there you go. Like you said, you could see when a player is trying to do something to stifle the opposition, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just a rush of blood to the head or what, but he fancies himself a striker of some sort and wanted to take the ball out of defense or something, but something wasn't right. And by the time he circled back, it was too late. It was just, God, it was, but at the same time, I mean, all of us Newcastle fans that were watching that game as neutrals, it had everything. It looked exactly like Nick Pope in the starting seconds of the second half against Marseille.
Got to laugh after the game.
Almost exactly the same area as well. Sorry.
You got to laugh. You can be crying.
Well, no, and then of course it had to be Aubameyang that did it. Good.
Exactly.
He was horrible against us when he was with Arsenal, and of course, being North London rivals, you also know what Patrick Aubameyang was capable of, and just seeing that, just holy moly. No, we were talking about while you were off air, quite a few missing players for you. You're missing the likes, obviously, of Solanke and James Maddison, who's out with a long-term injury, but Romero, Kulishevsky, you're missing some heavy hitters, aren't you?
We are, but it shouldn't be an excuse. It shouldn't be an excuse. You've had players out and you've got players out. So I'm different to the majority of fans. I don't like to look at injuries. I don't like to blame officials, and I will call out the fan base where it needs calling out. And, listen, we've got players out, yes, but it's on the owners. We knew about a lot of these injuries that you're talking about. Solanke, Maddison, Kulusevski, these are all there, in the summer. So for me, it's not an excuse, maybe a little bit of an explanation. But no, for me, it's the case that we should be doing a lot better. I am still behind Frank, but when fans turn around and go, look, Harry, what do you see in Frank to give him time? And apart from what we've done at Brentford, and there is some element to that is, I get their concern, put it that way, because we haven't seen enough. We started really well and have fallen off a little bit of a cliff. I'm still behind him because managers aren't the problem at the Tottenham. And I was going to say how it is. There's a level of entitlement within my fan base, Tottenham fan base, after winning in Bilbao that trophy, the first of my lifetime, and after reaching the 2019 Champions League final, there's an expectation, A, you've got to play this way, and B, you've got to win. And I think also it's a modern football thing. If you're not, managers had 13 league games in the case of Thomas Frank. Because we're not up there, we're not competing, at the top of the Premier League, all of a sudden, people can't see what could potentially come. I'm not going to sit here and go, I'm absolutely in my element convinced that Frank's going to win the quadruple. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. No, I'm not in that world. It's not the aim. It's not what we're going to do. But I just think give him a little bit of time, And some people go, oh, he done average with Brentford. I'm sorry, taking an average, no disrespect to Brentford, championship side to A, the playoffs, B, into the Premier League, C, financially and competitive in the Premier League. But then to leave them in the top half is wow. What a job he done there. And for me, I just think he can bring a lot of community feel and ultimately togetherness at Tottenham, which is me is a big problem. But no, injuries I don't like to blame. We've got to be doing better. And I'm not looking forward to this game. When I say I look forward to the game, I'm thinking of it I like the thought of a battle with Newcastle, St James's Park, great atmosphere, not necessarily for Tottenham to go into, but I enjoy watching it. It'd be loud, it'd be aggressive. That's how I want to play football. If I'm putting myself in Tottenham position, you dread it. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a really tough game, and we need to get out there alive and hopefully get something, which our performances recently, Dan, suggest we won't.
Yeah, so our Spurs fans, our resident Spurs fans at the pub, on Saturday were not looking forward to this match. They said, so we'll see you on Tuesday. After you guys take 3 points, and then we'll move on next Saturday. So we'll have to see how it goes. Sparky, so what do you think will happen on Tuesday? I think our starting 11. Do you think we'll rest anybody? Do you think we'll rest anybody in midfield? I think, like we said just before Harry came back, I think the defense sorts itself. I think we'll start with the same back four and Ramsdale and goal. Do you think we'll see changes in the midfield?
Potentially. I mean, to be totally honest, I would love young Lewis Miley to keep his position. I think he absolutely deserves to retain it. Would I bring Sandro Tonali back in and maybe rest Joe Linton, for example?
Right.
Maybes. I think we're pretty solid in the midfield over the weekend.
Yep.
Especially away from home as well. Lewis Miley really suited that box-to-box midfield role. He honestly just reminded, as much as I didn't like him, but he did remind us of it, a young Steven Gerrard. I thought he was absolutely, he was all over the pitch. He was winning tackles, assisting from corners, scoring goals from outside the box. So I think he definitely deserves his shot to retain his position over on Tuesday, unless he has absolutely burnt himself out on that match, when then I'll bring in Tonali back in. But yeah, I mean, to be totally honest, it's hard the midfield battle at the minute because we've just got so many players, and so we've got choice now. We never used to have a choice. It used to be right, we know exactly who we're putting there. But now we have got that little bit more flexibility with the squad choice. So, but whatever happens, I would love to keep Miley in the middle position there. Maybe drop Joe Linton for Tonali as well.
You gotta, Harry, you're on mute.
Try again. It was one indoors, but I moved room because of the internet troubles. So if only it's his first scuff, I bought it yesterday as well. I should have bought that, shouldn't I? It made so much sense. Love the comment.
Harry's scarf without a scarf.
Let myself down then. Internet problems, and then without the scarf. Yeah.
There you go. Blade did me a favor and reminded me. I'll just take 2 seconds here real quick and remind everybody of the sponsors of our program. We've got Dire Crow, Joe Spinney down there in Charlotte, North Carolina, doing some great Newcastle-based merchandise. It's not just T-shirts. He's got all kinds of stuff. If you're looking to outfit a little one's bedroom or something with some black and white, you can find all kinds of stuff on there. Also, the multi-award winning Geordieland Experience, headed up there with our good friend Sparky Buddy. If you are planning a visit to the Northeast and you aren't quite sure what to do other than go to St. James's Park and catch a Newcastle match, chat up the Geordieland Experience and they'll sort you out. We had I know Sparky took some fans from Benfica when they were over to play us and in the Champions League, and took them on a tour and showed them around the city and saw some of the sights and some great places to eat. They had a great time. So yeah, reach out to the Geordieland Experience and they'll point you in the right direction. Also, Prince Charming over there in Wild's End. A great memorabilia shop. They've got Newcastle gear. They've got music and movie paraphernalia. Just to give you an idea, there's their Facebook page. Go and have a look over there. Again, they're in Wall's End, Prince Charming, and they'll also be one of our sponsors for our talk-in February. Cheers to Morgul Blade for reminding me to get those sponsors in and not saving it all the way till the end like I did yesterday. So thanks Blade. So yeah, can't find the Dire Crow lady on there. No. This is true. The Mackham Slayer lady is not for sale. You will not find her on the website. So sorry. Harry, what did you? There was a comment earlier in the chat that Thomas Frank called the fans that were booing not real fans. So what do you? It's a bad look, but I think he was being defensive. What would you say?
I've got to be so careful because I really feel differently to everyone. I don't necessarily know why, maybe a little bit out of touch, but for me, I think he's right. You know, if you're booing your goalkeeper, it's not you're booing the guy. I get it. You go 2-0 down at home inside 9 minutes. There's going to be frustration. There's nothing wrong with booing in general. But when Vicario gets a touch 2-3 minutes later, to boo him at the volume that we did, your own player, that, you know, is the reason we drew games and not lost them, like in the Champions League, the reason we won games as well. I can't get my head around that. And they probably are true Spurs fans. That's where he probably isn't right, but they're in the wrong. I would have worded it a little bit differently, but make no mistake about it, Dan. Someone at the hierarchy has spoken to him because he come out his press conference going, yeah, they're all Spurs fans. We need the fans. It was completely different tone, completely different words, completely different look on his face. And I know, managers change, don't they, from these post-match interviews where they get a bit tricky, don't they? They're put under pressure. Ange couldn't cope with it. He used to have his feet into the, he used to have his head literally on the floor and look at his feet the whole time. It was, humiliating. But I think a lot of it is he's spoken to upstairs. I think he makes some good points, but need to, when you're going to call out the fans, you need to also, as a team and as a manager, you need to do your bit to do better than we are. Because the reality is, it's not just where we are in the league and the performances, the results. It's the fact that, like, if we go back to our last game, Fulham, it's 3-4 shots in total. It's 0 in the first half, at home against a team that were below us. And I'm not that Spurs fan that has this expectation. I'd love to play pretty football, but for me, winning games is a priority. And the problem is Frank will get more pressure and will get less time because we're playing a negative brand of football, which doesn't sum up Thomas Frank. I think it's a case of, look, we're flexed until we get, like you said, those attacking players back. So for me, I'm absolutely behind him, but you've got to be very, very careful when you have a go. But I do like the fan base, and don't get me wrong, the fan base is great in many ways, but there is a level of entitlement which is unfortunate. And I can say how it is. It's my generation that this entitlements come from. We've got to win. They've seen a trophy, and now it's like, why aren't we winning instantly every single trophy? It's about patience, and it just isn't there. I don't know why. It's frustrating. I'm not one of those that goes, look, Frank's got to win a trophy this year. I just see the 3-4 year plan, which fans won't wait for.
Well, and the big thing for everybody, I think, in the Prem is, Scott, would you agree it's been a topsy-turvy season for everybody? I mean, we've seen the obvious ones. We've seen, Arsenal and Man City up there near the top, but we've also seen the dramatic fall of Nottingham Forest, who did ever so well last season. We're seeing, Liverpool start and start and sputtering and stuff. He who shall not be named got a goal on Sunday. We won't talk about that. But then he got the hook 6 minutes later. So there you go. But no, would you agree that it's been a topsy-turvy season for everyone? So for Thomas Frank to have a go at his own fans puts more pressure on him, like Harry says, and it decreases the amount of patience and time that people give him. And if anybody deserves more time on the Spurs touchline, it is Thomas Frank.
I think you're right. I think this season it's very congested. I think there's about 8 or 9 really good teams in the league now. I don't think the league's a given anymore. We're back to where anybody can beat anybody. And I agree with Harry. I think you need to give him time. But the biggest problem that he's got is, like you say, is his generation want win after win after win after win after win after win because of the cup. But we saw that when we won the Carabao Cup as well a little bit. Our fans thought, we've got, West Ham next week, give and win. Do you know what I mean? We saw that as well. So we've been in that position as well. We do think all these teams are going to come up and we'll just blow them away, and that's not happening. So he needs time. I like Thomas Frank. I think they need to stick with him. I think they need to give him January, let him spend some money, make his team, and get behind him. I've got no problem with managers coming out and saying what he said. Actually, I quite agree with what he said. Like Harry, it's probably not, they're not fans. They're just very frustrated or whatever. But they are fans. He's just said it in the wrong way, context.
Right.
But it's straight after the game as well, and his emotions will be running high too. So yeah.
I think maybe acknowledging the frustration and the words "not real fans" are probably not the best ones to. But I also don't. I mean, Thomas Frank's first language is not English, so I think there's context, and a little bit of translation maybe that got lost there. So Harry, so Blade asked, obviously with all of your attacking injuries that you're suffering from right now, do you think Spurs are targeting any particular players or a particular position come January? If you think there'll be any business done?
This question is great, and it just frustrates me because we have so many strikers at the club who are either not fit or they're not good enough. Just some context, I'm sure I'll miss at least one, but we've got, Dominic Solanke, we've got Richarlison, we've got Mawani, we've got Tell, we've got Scarlett. Honestly, the list is absolutely huge. It's 4 recognised strikers, and that's not including Scarlett and Tell. There's 6 that are, tell you what, there's 6 that are down. If you look at anything like Transfer Market, if you play FIFA, Football Manager, 6 players at Tottenham are listed officially as centre forwards. That is far too many, and that's unhealthy to start with. But out of the 6 of them, I mean, is anyone going to get you too many goals? Someone says in the comment, Mawani's a great player. He is. But at the same time, he's a player that comes to Tottenham, only missed 1 game before with a virus, and he's been fit about 12% of the time. And it's just, what is going on? He's back now, don't get me wrong, and he looks good, but part of me thinks, you're going to get injured, or, what's going to go wrong? You just feel like something like that's going to happen. Yeah, there you go. He lost his way at the PSG. He did. He just needed a change. He looks like a man with a mission, so he's the one. But it's just a problem. There's no good having these strikers. They're just going to get you a few goals here and there. Mawani looks the most likely. I like Solanke, but, he's been on and off injured for a good 10, 12 months now, no joke, 3 or 4 separate occasions, little injuries. Again, not an excuse. We had an opportunity, to give him surgery, didn't, delayed that, and now paying the price for it. It's fully on the club. So, I like the strikers. It's probably an issue we address in January. But for me, if we do, it cannot be permanent. It's not the right thing to do. We can't be having 7 strikers at the club. We should probably let none or 1 go in January. So I'd say on loan. If an opportunity comes up for a striker on loan, yes, or a top striker, whoever you deem that to be, come up and you go, okay, we've got to take that opportunity, but I wouldn't plan for a striker. I go left wing, etc. I suppose his parent club is on loan. No, it's a straight loan. There's a complication. Is there a buy option or not? Is there an obligation? We originally had one, then we had the other, but in the end, it's just a straight loan. It turned out to be.
There you go. I think I've got some other answers in there. Conversely, in Newcastle, you got 7 strikers. We've got 3, and only of the 3, only one of them is relatively considered fully fit, and that's Nick Voltemata, and we'll just continue to run him into the ground.
Rather him, though. Rather him than 7. 1 over 7.
And it sounds like Vissa is on his way back. He showed well apparently in a behind closed doors 11v11 scrimmage. Eddie Howe said in his press conference this morning that he played well. He'll get another one later in the week. I personally, if he's fit, I'd love to see him on the bench and get, a couple of minutes in injury time or something like that, just to get him running out and at least show the fans, that he is visible. he's not only seen in the treatment room and in social media videos. He apparently really likes his sneakers, according to social media. Lots of video of him receiving a new pair of sneakers in the dressing room. What else have we got? I think. Hold on. I think. Harry, talk us through. No, that's us. Where's the other one? There it is. No. Here, talk us through your start. Is this the starting 11 that you think we would see? This is what played on Saturday.
Yeah, this is what we saw against Fulham. So no, this is the all-important question. Reality is, you play like we did there. I mean, you can't be keeping everything the same. If it was my team, I would change it up, quite a little bit. I wouldn't have, for example, Paulinho and Bentancur going in there. You've got 2 options. You shop if you're Spurs and you sit in, that's fine. But at the same time, I just think right now you could do with a little bit of youth, a little bit of passion, a bit of energy in a game like this. Newcastle are physical. That's the thing. Do you go the experienced players that may be more suited to a big game, or would you go to the younger players that are more talented, but you take that risk? And that's really interesting to see what Frank will go with. I think, should I tell you what I'll go with, or what I think will happen? What works best for you?
Yeah, no, go what you think. Go with what you would go with.
Great. Okay. Thank you. That's great. I'll go with Vicario in goal. Defence will be Van der Ven and Romero need to step up to the table. I think they're two good centre backs, but we conceded too many goals recently, so they have to take responsibility of that. They're part of the back line. Porro was horrific. I like him, but horrific against Fulham. And we need to be defensively disciplined, so I'll take him out the side, which I recognise will be unpopular. I'd have Spence at right back and a Doggy at left back. Already take a bit of a risk with a back four. I'd go with more of a 4-3-3. So again, it is a little bit more conservative. So just to bear that in mind. I've had Paulinho sitting in front of the defence. Then in front, I would go with. I think I'd go with Bentancur. Oh, this is tough. I go with Bentancur and Bergvall. I go Bentancur and Paulinho because, like I said, there the experience and that kind of. Although it hasn't worked, I think in a game like this it could be key. And then Bergvall for youth, a little bit of energy. He's a little bit more stronger than Simmons and Sarri. That's my thinking. Then look, forward three, this is where it's tough. I'll go Mwani up top, which I'm the most promised, as someone said in the chat earlier, out of any of the strikers. But it's difficult to pick the front three in general. I think I'll go with Odebear on the left and go with Johnson on the right. And again, that'd be unpopular to leave Kudus out. And I like him. Again, this is nothing to do necessarily with him. It's just I don't want him to get to a point where he played too many games and, kind of reach your maximum. Because I think, because he scored against...
I was going to say, he scored a terrific consolation goal against Fulham.
But also, it's easy to look at it and go, wow, what an impact. And it is a great impact, but his performance before that was concerning. It wasn't, what we've been used to seeing from Kudus. So, again, I think the bigger picture is important. Brandon Johnson could be suited more to this game. And I think we need to look at things differently. Spurs and football in general. Don't try and fit all your best players into the lineup. I quite like the thought of having someone like a Kudus to come off the bench. This is not me dropping him. It's not me saying, Johnson, you're better. It's A, rotation, and B, thinking strategically. You now play 2 games a week, just like us. How can you get the advantage over your opponent? And that's done via the bench. Kudus is an electric player, and I see him having more of an impact just in this game, going forward as well, off the bench. And I'm not saying he should be benched every game, but I think, again, when you've got rotation, you shouldn't be afraid of saying, look, Kudus, you're good enough to be in this team. We're going to use you from the bench. And you do it a lot. You have 4 players, Barnes, Murphy, Gordon. They all take turns in and out of the team, whereas Spurs need to have Kudus starting every single week. So let's try something a little bit different.
Yep, agreed. Scott, Sparky, I'm going to throw ours up there and get your thoughts there. I think you think this might be what we see tomorrow night, or would you see some changes as well? Scott, you go first.
For me, I think I'd be really happy with that. Do we rest Malick Thiaw and bring Shah in? I'm not so sure. I think you've got to start Chow, really. That would be my 11. Yeah, I don't know what you think, Sparky.
Yeah, I mean that solid that 11 looks solid. As I say, is the only thing I would potentially do, depending on how he's feeling, is keep young Miley in. I thought he was absolutely outstanding last match. Maybe give J7 a little rest for Miley, or even give Bruno a little rest, because his consistency over the season has been so important. And over this Christmas period, we have got quite a lot of games. So, plus I was spanked Spurs anyway, so easy work tomorrow night.
Oi. I'm going to deny it.
Hold on, I got to turn this one off. No, I think I agree with you, Sparky and Scott. I think Elanga did well enough to keep his place, but seeing as we've got the game Tuesday night against Spurs, and then on Saturday we're playing against Burnley, I think Eddie's got to look and see where he can manage minutes where he can. I think Malick Thiaw keeps his place against Spurs, but I could see him possibly getting a rest against Burnley. At the same time, Dan Burn has been ever present, except for his 1 match ban for his red card at Brighton. So or Brentford, sorry. I'm thinking that maybe Dan Burn could be one that sits out for a minute, and maybe Fabian Schär comes in for him. We're not going to see Botman for a while. We haven't seen Jamal Lascelles at all, but I think that's he's been in team pictures and such, but we haven't seen him on the bench in quite a while. I wonder if he's maybe suffering from something. I think Miley. I think Miley did well enough to keep his place. Like Nubadoc says, I think Alanga will keep his place. I think Harvey Barnes will keep his place. I think Gordon might see a start against Burnley. Give him some fresh minutes. He looked good the other night when he came on, but I think he's still carrying something with that hip. So I think we could see the same starting 11 on Tuesday night that we saw against Everton on Saturday. So, Harry, Brosnan asks, what do you think of Xavi Simons?
It hasn't been good enough so far, but again, you can probably get the gist in terms of what I'm saying about Frank and in general, that I am all for patience. That's just me. I think you jump too quick to make decisions about managers, about players. You give him time. It's very similar situation with Brian Wirtz and Liverpool. People go, oh, it's a problem from Germany, it's a problem from Bundesliga players. Well, hang on a minute, we're facing you guys, right? Nick Voltemade, I mean, he just hit the ground running. Etike's done okay as well with Liverpool, not quite as good, of course, of Voltemade, but he's done okay. So it could be something to do with the number 10 position in general. I think it's a big, kind of responsibility to carry. You've got members, Xavi Simons come here, couldn't speak really a word of English at all. Of course, doesn't know the system, doesn't know the Premier League. Like with all these players that come over, it's not just him. I'm not making an excuse just for him. The point is, it's going to take time. So for players in general, we should be very considerate of that. But also, the way the club hyped it, that's on them. And the money we spent, there is natural and it's right to have a little bit of an expectation. I think it's fair to go Simons, give him time. He's our player. And, it's going to, we want it to work, and hopefully it will work. And I believe it will work. But also, he hasn't been great so far. And, fans want to force him to start games. And I get you can't improve and know the system until you start. But also, I do look at it and go, don't just force a player in because of their name. That's the thing. I'm all for you getting the team based on how you train, but more importantly, how you perform. And if Simons isn't performing, which he isn't, he come on against Fulham and was pushed off the ball, more times than he touched the ball. That is when it's a concern. That's, to be honest with you. So Simons, we wanted the team flair player. Kevin have it, Fulham have it, I should say, with Kevin. It's a very similar situation. He would be, when he's fit, probably their best attacking player. Very creative, flair player. But if he's not adjusting quickly enough yet, don't just throw him in the team because he's your best player. You bed him and you're patient. So fans want to see him. Make no mistake about it. If Simons starts the game, and we've had it once already, earlier on in the season, even when things were going well, Simons started the game and he come off when we were losing. And the boos substitution, inside the stadium. It was similar for Nuno, and it happened with another player. So fans like flair players, but you've got to give him time. But he hasn't been great so far. He's not having an impact. But I'm not going to jump the gun, jump to conclusions. But he does need to raise his kind of game and standard over time. Hopefully he will. I believe he can step up.
As Brosnan asks if he's playing in the wrong position, you think he's better as in a 10, or does he play out wide?
I see him as, it's difficult, isn't it? Because, if you play left wing, you often drift in the 10. Not being funny, it all depends on the position. But the reality is it's not going to be a huge difference. It's the physicality of the Premier League that he's found tough, and a lot of players do. It's the speed and the physicality where he does a nice trick, but then someone's on him. And what he does in Simons, when he gets that rare bit of time, he overthinks things. And footballers in general are very good on their instincts. If you give a footballer 10 seconds to put the ball in the box compared to 1 second, I promise you that 1 second it'll be a better cross. It sounds stupid, but they just go their instincts are better because they're top professionals. So Simons could be played in the wrong position. I don't mind him playing the 10, but maybe some would say you start at left wing, you kind of stay out there and drift in, and then you almost earn the right and earn the respect and build confidence in yourself to kind of go in that 10 role. So that's a valid argument. I still think you are best to probably introduce him from the bench, but at the same time, we're having this conversation in 5-6 months' time, and he's not starting games. Of course, you're concerned, but we're still. I keep saying it. I know I'm only focusing on the league, but the league season we're talking about here is the Premier League game. We're only 13 games in. For me, no manager, unless you've lost all 13 games, can be fairly judged. And it's the same with the players, right? After 13 performances, give him time. But you make some really good kind of points. But he says, personally, think he needs 2 more touches. He gets quite out. Yeah, exactly. I think he overthinks things. That's the problem. And he shows some good signs. But again, against Fulham, he's coming on all these flicks and tricks. And 9 out of 10 times they don't work off. And if they do, they're great. But you're thinking, when you're behind, just keep it simple. So, flair players aren't always, as much as you want them, you've got to realise that they can be a pain as well, and you've got to manage them. So Simons is good, but he's keep his feet on the ground, do what he does best, keep it basic, keep it simple, and I think he can turn these kind of fortunes around so far. But yeah, I'm not going to be one of those guys washed or anything like that. Yeah, it hasn't been a great start, but not many players hit the ground running, and if they do, I want to go, how long does that continue for and why?
Gotcha. All right, we come to the hour. I think last thing to do is we'll just go around the room, see what everybody's score predictions are going to be, and then that last question that we'll end the night on that last question, and I'll bring it back up after we have our score predictions. Sparky, I'm going to start with you. What's your score prediction, mate?
Spank the Spurs, baby. Spank the Spurs. At home, St. James's Park. Have it wrapped up half time like usual. I'm going to go like 4-5-1.
4-5-1. Okay. What about you, Scott?
I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1. All right. Blade with his as expected 7-0. Gary with 3-1. That's where I was going. I was going to say 3-1 as well. Harry, how would you like to exit St. James's Park, and what do you think is the realistic exit plan?
I'd love to exit with, as big win as possible. But in reality, Spurs can go to St. James's Park and get a draw. That, for me, however we go about it, if we hold on to the end of dear life, I think that is a significant result. That shows mental resilience. It shows will. Not many teams will go to St. James's Park and get a result. Top side, top crowds, united there. And there's no reason. I know you have lost a couple of games there, don't get me wrong, this year. But the point is, St. James's Park is a tough place to go. I've been trying to be honest tonight. That's the way I do my content and stuff in general, and even away from kind of camera, I believe in honesty, and I think we're going to struggle in this game. So I'd love to sit here and go, we're going to get a draw, but I think we're going to lose, and quite badly, and we have lost badly at St. James's Park. I think it will go really bad. I think the first hour will be catastrophic. So I'm going to go with 4-1 to Newcastle, and Tottenham go 4-0 down, unfortunately, within the hour mark, and we score late. That's just how I feel. I'd love to sit here and go, 2-2 draw, 3-1 Tottenham win, but I'd just be lying to myself. Tottenham are poor at the moment. You're in a good place, bar Marseille, where the performance is there and not the result. So I do worry that you're up here, we're down here. In this, just the mentality's wrong at Tottenham. There's so many problems, and even if we set up right, it's just so fragile. If you score the first goal, for me, it just goes boom like that and collapses. So I am worried. That's just how I feel, but I hope I'm wrong. We'll see.
Fair play to you, Harry. I like I said, I think it's going to be a 3-1 victory for Newcastle. I think I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. As Gary said, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Scott, Sparky, the same. But as promised, I want to end on this one. This is a great question from Blade. Was Sir Les Ferdinand, was he a better player for the Spurs or for the Toon? I think I'm going to say first things first. We only got to see him for 2 seasons at Newcastle. Oh, there. Sparky says Spurs. He was a better player at Spurs, but you had him longer. How long did he play for Spurs? 4 seasons? 3 seasons? I can't remember. You got him when he was 31, I think, because for whatever reason, Freddie Shepherd thought $6 million for a 31-year-old player was good money back then. We basically sold him for what we bought him from QPR. What say you, Scott?
I'm going to say Spurs as well, because I don't think we saw him for long enough. From what I've heard from other people, I think Spurs. Yeah.
I think I'm the only one on the panel old enough to remember when he played for Spurs or for Newcastle. I don't think.
I remember the whole transfer saga. Start times, like you just wanted to see that Shearer Ferdinand connection for like years on end. It broke the Geordie's heart. And then, do you know what it is? He went down to London and he smashed it. Even though he was like 31-year-old, that age is just a number at the end of the day. It's all about the passion, it's all about the technical mind, and his footballing brain was just unbelievable. Yep,
agreed. Fully agreed. Scarfy, what have you heard? Harry, what have you heard about Sir Les?
You know me. Again, I'm honest, and this is a player that I didn't see, and I don't know too much about. I listened to him on TV, and he says some good things. There's not too much I can say apart from that. And all I know is that he's not talked about, to be honest with you, too much amongst the Spurs fan base. So make of that what you want. I'm not quite sure what that kind of means, or that reflects on his time with Spurs and in football in general. But he's not a name that I hear spoken about a lot in the football kind of world consensus. Yes, but not with Tottenham in general. But no, in terms of a pundit as well, he speaks some really good stuff, and you can just tell. I mean, I didn't watch him position at all and hardly know anything, but he clearly knows his stuff, and you know your stuff from playing the game. You get that first-hand experience himself. So yeah, I'll take your word for it. Whatever you say, I'll absolutely go with. So I'm not gonna gaslight you or tell you, oh, he's better for so and so. Not a clue, but he seems like a good guy who knows his stuff more than me.
He played very well for QPR, which convinced Newcastle to part with $6 million to bring him to Tyneside. We saw him wearing the number 9 kit for one season, playing with Peter Beardsley. And then we got, after the Euros '96, we got Alan Shearer, of course, for that world record at that time, £15 million to come to tune with the promise of the number 9 shirt. So we saw Sir Les take the number 10 and Alan Shearer get the 9 jersey. But between the two of them that season, there was 49 goals, if I remember right, in the league, just between the two of them.
Honestly, it's what dreams are made of, baby. It's what dreams are made of.
We were Gary remembers seeing Les play in diapers. Keith Downey says Vissa's playing. Yep. We saw that, Eddie. Hopefully, I would love to see Vissa just named in the 18 tomorrow, just to show he's that much closer. He doesn't even have to get on the pitch, but just to see him on the bench, I think would gee up some fans and really get things going tomorrow night. So, but with that, then I think we're in consensus. I think Les Ferdinand was a better player for Spurs than he was for Newcastle. Only, I think, judged on number of games. I think he played more for Spurs than he did for us, and therefore he was a better player. But he was fantastic. He well deserved the nickname Sir Les up here in these quarters, up in Tyneside, and that's why the answer is a tune. Sets record as a pair. Numb the pain. Yep, agreed. 100%. Leslie in the background, thank you very much for moderating for us. Gary, Blade, who else was in there? Everybody was in there. Nubadoc, Edward, all good to see you there. Gentlemen, thank you again for a great show. Harry, sorry for all the problems in the beginning, but we were so glad that you were able to come back. Congratulations again to you on the award. Sparky, of course, our multi-award winning Geordie Land experience. Scott, always a pleasure. Mr. Devlin, always good to see you. And we'll see everybody. I think we play tomorrow night. I don't know whether or not Baz is doing we've already got them scheduled. I haven't seen them. I have to go back. I think we're doing full time on Wednesday. And then we'll do a preview show on Friday night before the Burnley game on Saturday. So, good to see all of you, and we'll see you again on Wednesday after the match. Harry, to the two teams, may the best side win.
Absolutely, all the best.
All the best. Thank you, gentlemen. Good to see you.
Shout out to 420 Mags. Come on.